We moving, we slanging touchdowns. On a hump day, Wednesday, you're back inside from the break. Hottest show on the streets, best form of Crimson Tide football news, notes, and information. That being, in my own words, the podcast with yours truly, Stephen Smith. And we jump into, are Alabama players hungry for a redemption season? Crimson Tide, is it hungry for a redemption season after coming off 2018 and 2019 where it did not finish the job, it did not win a national championship, and a lot of issues parlayed to both of those seasons? But are Alabama players hungry for a redemption season this year? And I believe they are. And it goes back to, remember, history has a way of repeating itself. Alabama has been here before. 2013 and 2014 did not win a national championship in neither of those two seasons. Defense was rough. Could not get pressures at the quarterback consistently. Could not play the ball in terms of the secondary. Tackling was an issue. What happened in 2015, Alabama made some changes. They got back to the right mindset, and the team was able to win a national championship. And I see the same thing this season, getting back to that mindset. If you check out this video that showed up on screen right now, look at strength and conditioning coach Scott Cochran. He's got these guys hitting this weight program, hitting this fourth quarter program. They're getting into the right physical frame of mind, into the right mental frame of mind, because in Alabama, the ultimate goal is we want to have teams fear us the moment we come off the bus. We want to have teams fear us the moment we step out on the field. We want to have teams fear us, respect us, not wanting to play us the moment that we take that first snap. And the last 2 years, I felt like Alabama lost a lot of that aggressiveness, a lot of that edge, a lot of that focus, swagger, confidence in the moment we, the Crimson Tide, step off this bus. It's a business trip. We mean business. We're coming at you full-fledged, hardcore, straight up. And I go to something that Scott Cochran has been mentioning throughout the fourth quarter program. He said, where we have been, that ain't it no more. Where we're trying to go, that's where it's at. Scott Cochran is already molding into the minds of these guys what we were once at, bump that, skip that, put the biggest middle finger towards that. What we're trying to do, we're trying to get bigger, better, faster, stronger, getting back to winning national championships and doing it in a way where the world knows Alabama football's back and it ain't going nowhere. So I honestly believe that this team is ready for a redemptive year, because when you look at this group, when you look at Alabama does not lose often. Alabama does not lose games often. So when it loses a game, when it drops a game, you can seriously feel the hurt. You can see the hurt. You can see the pain. You can see the frustration. You can see the I let people down. And the one thing that Coach Saban, his wife, Miss Terry, the support staff, the coaching staff, the players, everybody in that program, the one thing they hate doing more than anything else, they hate letting the community down. I remember when Nick Saban first got to Alabama. Now, I wasn't among the crazies that was out there at the Tuscaloosa Regional Airport in 2007 when Nick Saban came off the plane, but I was watching on TV. I was a very observant person. I had the big jumbo screen watching it. But the moment Nick Saban plane touches down in Tuscaloosa, in the moment he and his wife, Miss Terry, came off the plane, one of the first things they said, among the first statements they said, they looked in front of every camera, in front of every wife, in front of every husband, in front of every child, in front of every Alabama fan with their shirt off, in front of every fan that was just fiending for, can we just get back to being champions? I'm tired of what Mike Shula put us through, and Mike DuBose put us through, and Dennis Franchione put us through, and Mike Price put us through. I'm tired of that. Can we just get back to being champions? And the moment Nick Saban got off the bus, he lasered everybody in the face, and he said, we are going to give you a program. We are going to give you a product. We are going to give you a team We are going to give you something that you can be proud of, you can boast about, you can hold your head up high in being utmost grateful of being an Alabama fan. And for 11 of the 13 years, he was accurate on that. Nick Saban was accurate. Nick Saban proved true. Nick Saban proved that, hey, you can bank on that. The last 2 years, especially on the defensive side of the football, it has not been the way that people hoped it would be. Now, of course, injuries played a role in it, but more so than injuries, you had a number of different things. You had not just injuries, but guys graduating on to the NFL draft, so you didn't have much depth in spots that you thought you would have depth in. You had, coaches that at times did not want to stay put at Alabama. There was a lack of communication. There was a lack of leadership. There was a lack of a number of different things. So now that you enter this spring coming up, you have a team that has a fresh focus. You have a team that has a fresh mindset, a team that has fresh motivation. And on top of that, you bring in young players that want to be great, young players that want to have success, young players that want to restore the Bama factor. What's crazy is one of Alabama's running back signees for the 2020 class, Roydell Williams, the 5'10", 207-pounder out of Hueytown, Alabama, Hueytown High School. On his announcement day, on his signing day, after he signed his letter of intent for the Crimson Tide, cameras immediately, bang, hit his face. And they're asking him, Roydell, pimp juice, bruh, why you want to go to Bama, son? Do you not know they missed the college football playoff? Bro, Bama suck. They missed the playoff. They didn't get in. They were ranked 12, 13. Bro, Bama ain't it no more. They ain't sexy. They ain't making good no more. They that random chick at the bar. They ain't making good. What you doing, Roydell? What you doing? And Roydell looked flat in them folks' face and said, yes, Alabama missed the college football playoff in 2019, and it will be the last time we miss. The confidence coming from that young man, the confidence coming from him as a freshman to boldly state, yes, Alabama missed it in 2019, but it will be the last time. These 2020 kids are coming in here or are in here right now. They are not playing around. They mean business. And I go back to something I've mentioned before. Alabama, in terms of getting back to having the hunger, remember in the recent years of Nick Saban, from 2008 to, I guess, 2017, Alabama prided itself in having true competition at every spot, whether it was at quarterback, running back, offensive line, wide receiver, defensive line, linebacker, defensive back, even on special teams from time to time. Alabama prided itself on having true, legit competition at every single position. That meaning, if you beat out somebody and was the starting quarterback, you were the guy. You were the man. But you could not afford to let your guard down, because the moment you slipped, here comes a freshman. The moment you slipped, here comes somebody else. And for goodness sake, the moment you slip, oh God, here comes a walk-on, ready to take your spot, ready to snatch your cookies, ready to steal your girl, ready to take your position flat from you. That was the biggest thing about Alabama football at that time. You had true elite marquee competition at every single spot. You couldn't afford to look behind you, because the moment you look behind, the fact that Nick Saban got back to thinking, okay, as much as I love having that national presence, I love kids in New York City. I love kids in Florida. I love them in California. I love them in Texas. I love them in Georgia. We on their mind in Georgia. I love them in Georgia. I love them in Maryland. Love them everywhere. But nothing is better than getting an in-state recruit. Nothing is better than building a fence around the state of Alabama. Nothing is better than getting a recruit from Huntsville, from Tuscaloosa, from Birmingham, from Mobile, from Montgomery, from any of these areas. Why? Because when an Alabama offer hits the hands of an in-state recruit, it's like hitting the Mondo Powerball lottery. It hits different. They want it. It's all they know. It's all they grew up on. It's all they see. It's all they feel. They want that Alabama offer more than their next breath. It is Bama or nothing. It's going back to, remember that P. Diddy campaign, vote or die? It's like that for an Alabama kid getting an offer. It's Bama or nothing. It's Bama or I don't even want to go to college now. It is Bama or nothing for all those in-state kids. And for the last 2 recruiting classes, Nick Saban has gotten back to that. Yes, he still kept the national appeal with getting guys from Louisiana, with getting guys from Ohio, from Florida, from Georgia, from Texas. But the bulk of this class in the Sunshine State, the Yellow Hammer State of Alabama, and that's big when you talk about getting back to having that hunger, getting back to having that passion, getting back to having, I want to be great. We want to be great. We want to win football games. We want to win championships. It bothers us when we don't win. And that's the biggest thing. Having those players that it bothers you when you do not win. It bothers you when you do not hold that college football playoff trophy. It bothers the crap out of you when other teams are holding that hardware more so than you are holding it. So to answer the point right there, do I think this Alabama team, are Alabama players hungry for a redemptive season? Yes, yes, yes. And one more time for the woman in the back with the hearing aid, yes. So we take our next break here on the show. Don't touch that dial. Still pimp walking. When we get back, we get to more of your phone calls after this.
Touchdown Alabama Magazine is Alabama football's premier publication. A subscription to Touchdown Alabama Magazine is the perfect gift for any Alabama fan. For exclusive news and information, recruiting updates, a free annual print magazine, and more, go to touchdownalabama.com and click join. Only $5.95 per month or pay $49.95 for a full year subscription. That's a saving of almost $22. Make sure to subscribe before it's too late and get our new freshly printed end of the year magazine issue. Go to touchdownalabama.com today and roll Tide.
Thank you for watching Touchdown Alabama Magazine's YouTube channel. To continue to get the best in Alabama football content, subscribe here and turn on your notifications to stay connected with the hottest shows covering your Crimson Tide.